guys, Stephanie here, and I'm back with more movie chatter. And no co-host. She's sleeping upstairs, so let's hope that that just continues so I can get through this. Anyway, it's Wednesday, so you know that means it's time for Weekend Watch, and this is the weekly segment where I give you guys some options for rentals, Blu-rays to watch at home, as well as a few options for those of you who want to head out and see a movie in the theater. And I know last week I had said that there weren't too many new releases that had wowed me, and I'm happy to report that this week I did get one that did kind of wow me. So that's my first pick. It's called Please Stand By, and it stars Dakota Fanning and Toni Collette. Dakota Fanning plays a 21-year-old woman named Wendy who happens to have autism. She lives in a group home, and Toni Collette is her therapist slash social worker. And Wendy's goal is ultimately to leave the group home and go back to living with her sister, her husband, and their new little baby. But her sister and her therapist just don't think it's time for Wendy to leave the group home. And of course, Wendy does not agree. She wants to show them that she has changed, that she's independent, she can take care of herself, she can, she's highly functioning, which she is. She is highly functioning, but she's in a very controlled setting in a group home. So she hears about this screenplay competition where you have to write a screenplay for Star Trek, which she does. It's 500 pages, and from what you hear her thoughts while she's writing. It seems to be it's brilliantly written. She's a very gifted creative writer. And the thing is that it has to be postmarked by a certain day, and she does not have the ability to get to the post office. So she decides to take off on foot with whatever money she has, a few things, and her dog, and find her way to Paramount Theaters in Los Angeles to hand deliver her screenplay for the contest. The grand prize is, I think, $100,000, and she feels that this would be proof to her family that she can take care of herself and leave the group home. So she buys a bus ticket to Los Angeles, and partway through the trip, the bus driver discovers the dog, throws her out on the side of the road. Nice, right? So now she's on foot, and she's walking to Los Angeles. And this is not a woman who is used to being out of her element. She's not used to being in the real world. So this is where the story takes us. It takes us following her on her journey to get to Los Angeles and things that she encounters, people she meets, and it's interesting. And then you have the people left behind who are frantic, her social worker and her family, frantically searching for her. The police are looking for her. Everyone's looking for Wendy. And long story short, that's what the movie is. We follow her on her quest to prove that you can do anything if you put your mind to it, that she can be independent, that she can take care of herself, no matter how hard. So that's what the movie kind of shows us. And it is rated PG-13, but I don't think there was anything in it that was too crazy. So yeah, I would definitely say it's pretty suitable for most viewers. And a little fun fact is that obviously I'm a person who is a fan of physical media, but my copy of this movie came in not such good shape. Not a usable Blu-ray. So, because I wanted to review it for you guys for this week, it forced me to find a different way to watch this, and I chose Vudu. And that was not a platform that I've really used before, other than throwing some digital media in there to store. But I found out that I could rent this movie, brand new release, in high definition for $4.99, and I have 30 days to watch it as much as I want. I think standard definition is $3.99. Same deal, 30 days. So if you haven't used it before, they have a great catalog. They have new releases, obviously. And it might be a new way for you guys, if you haven't checked it out, a new way for you guys to rent movies. It's super convenient. It's easy to use. The quality looked great. There was no buffering issues. Everything worked great. So, yeah, I would definitely check it out. And definitely check out Please Stand By. It's a great movie. Second one is called The Vanishing of Sydney Hall. It stars Logan Lerman, Elle Fanning, and Nathan Lane. Nathan Lane, who plays kind of a straight role, not funny at all. This is brought to you by A24, which is one of my very favorite studios. They brought you movies such as Moonlight and Lady Bird, and this is another great one. Sydney Hall is the main character, and he is a brilliant creative writer. By the time he's in high school, he's writing way above any level that he should be writing at, and even his teachers realize that he's brilliant. He ends up writing a story about an incident that happened while he was in high school where one of his classmates committed suicide. And this is his breakout novel that actually catapults him to stardom. He, as a young adult, he's not at all prepared for what being in the spotlight brings. He's not comfortable with people. He's not comfortable with dealing with the public. He doesn't like the types of attention that his book is getting. He doesn't like certain events that come with like sort of a cult following that of people who follow his works. He's just not happy. And the movie presents itself in a really unique way. It's very fragmented. There's a lot of fast forwarding and backflashing, and that's kind of how it tells the story. But I was surprised because sometimes those movies can be very difficult to follow. This one was not. You really understood the whole time what was going on. And ultimately, Sidney goes missing. And there's a gentleman chasing after him who we believe is either a private investigator or a police officer. And he is trying desperately to find out where and why Sidney Hall kind of just fell off the face of the earth. And he's also going around the country. Sidney Hall is actually going around the country and burning all his books because he believes that they're not readable. So we don't really know why he's doing that or why he's destroying his work, but through the flashbacks and the fast forwards, the story all comes together. And then when the two men meet, the plot kind of really reveals itself. So again, this is one of those that I would say just be patient with it because it seems confusing, but after the first few minutes, it's not. It's not confusing at all. And the nice part was that in the end, it didn't leave anything to question. There was no question. It was all wrapped up and sealed with a kiss. It was perfect. And I really enjoyed this movie. I would say it's definitely probably another one that's a one watch, so you might want to rent it because once the plot is revealed, you know the story and you're not going to have as much fun the second time. I don't know, maybe you will, but I don't think there's high rewatchability in it, but it's a really, really good first watch. So yeah, The Vanishing of Sidney Hall, I would definitely say check this one out. And now the last one is actually, it was a viewer request for a psychological thriller, and I chose The Invitation. This was a little bit earlier. I think it was in 2015 maybe, but I did see some people online buzzing about it and saying how good it was, so I decided to check it out. And like I said, I told you guys, if there's a genre you want or a certain thing you want me to review, movie you want me to review, leave it in the comments, and obviously I'm happy to do it. So I did check this one out. I put it in. I was kind of tired. I was like, I didn't know what to expect. And let me tell you, I was blown away. It held my attention the entire time. This movie is so unsettling and such an undercurrent of anxiety. It just woke me right up. And the premise of the story is that a gentleman and his girlfriend are going to a dinner party at the home of his ex-wife and her new partner. And we don't know why he was invited. We don't know what's going to go on there. They get there. The house is exactly the same as when he left. I guess his ex-wife has been gone to Mexico for 2 years. No one has seen or heard from her, and now she's back. So he walks into the house. It's all their old friends, and right away you know something's wrong. But as he walks around the house, he starts to have flashbacks, and you kind of start to understand why he's so uncomfortable being there. And you start to see really what happened between he and his wife to cause her to leave or their divorce. And you get the pieces to the puzzle. But you still don't know. Is it him? Is he the problem? Or is it something that's actually going on at that gathering that is so unsettling? And another thing I could say, this is another one where once the plot kind of reveals itself, cat's out of the bag, it's a one-watch deal. But I can tell you this, the tension is unbelievably heavy through the whole movie. You will definitely be on the edge of your seat wondering what the heck is going on. And the last shot of this movie gave me chills. I'm going to leave you with that because it's really, really good. And there is violence in it, so I would say this is definitely for older viewers. But yeah, if you're looking for a good psychological thriller, definitely check out The Invitation. And yeah, you can't go wrong with it. It's a good one. I'm sorry I missed it the first time around, but I'm glad I saw it now. So those are my picks for home viewing this week, and now to the theaters. Tully is still doing really well, so I still stand by that. It seems to be being well received by audiences. The reviews are coming in, and everything seems really positive. So I would still say, if you haven't seen Tully, check that out. There's a new one opening this week called Beast, and it looks to be like a cross between a thriller and maybe a little bit of horror, but it's a young one, and I'm going by the trailer. This also, I think it's 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's up there, though. But this young woman meets a young man, and he kind of saves her from, it looks like she's almost going to be a victim of a sexual assault. He intervenes, he saves her. They start up this friendship/relationship. Her family is very strict. They don't approve. He's a little mysterious. He's an outsider. Nobody knows anything about him. So, but she's carrying on with him, and then a series of murders start to take place, and right away everyone believes that he is to blame. And now it looks like the main gist of the story, the main meat of the story is, does she believe him when he says he's innocent, or is everyone in her life telling her to get away from him? Are they right? So that looks like it's a good one. So I'd be interested to see if anyone, if you do check that out, let me know in the comments how it was. And the last one would be RBG, the documentary about Ruth Bader Ginsburg that I told you guys about last week, seems to be opening up in more theaters. It's actually going to be playing about 7 miles from my house, so I think I'm going to check that out this weekend. Meet me there, it'll be fun. Anyway, if you're looking for a good documentary, that one looks to be amazing, but I'll be able to give you guys a better review on that after I see it. So those are my picks for this week, and I plan to upload another video this weekend. I'm going to be doing a Blu-ray haul, so I'll show you guys what I've picked up over the last month or so. I'll be uploading that Saturday or Sunday, depending on, how my schedule works out, but that'll be a good one. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and I want to thank you as always for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload again. And until next time, that's a wrap.